Hello, my name is Ruth Turner. I am the director of the New Haven Board of Education Head Start program in New Haven, Connecticut. Our program serves 742 children and their families. I am very proud to get the opportunity to have Keith Young share the successes of our male involvement program with all of you. Keith first came to me 3 years ago with some ideas. In this relatively short period of time, I've watched his ideas to begin a male involvement program blossom into a full-fledged program, conducting annual events and having the distinction of being recognized as a model at this national conference. All of us in New Haven share Keith's enthusiasm, and since we all couldn't make it to beautiful Miami, Keith arranged for you to meet some of us by video. So sit back and enjoy. So when you take those tears down, look to see I'm all right.
Well, first you begin with a child. I have a child, and she's 4, near 5, and I inquired and spoke to staff, and I've heard great things from many people that I know in the city about the Head Start program. Certainly read about Dr. Ziegler's concept of Head Start, and it was luring, attractive to me. So I pursued it, and I found what I felt comfortable with. I met staff, teachers, and what have you, and introduced my daughter to the program, and she quickly embraced it. That certainly made me feel good as a parent. And I've been involved now for more than 3 months. Every day, we haven't missed a day of school. And I'm a participating parent. I spend time in the mornings, especially in the afternoons. I factor it into my schedule. And I found that it's important for my relationship with my daughter. I treat her friends important, and it translates to we have plenty to talk about. There's a bonding aspect of it. The staff has been very supportive. And the male role, I think, is so important. Here I am with, and these young, beautiful people do more for me than I do for them. They create the nurturing environment, and it's a very diverse group of young students, and we're friends. We have character names, Mr. Smiley or Mr. Chubby or what have you. We all have names for each other, and they look forward to seeing me, and I look forward to seeing them. It's kind of, we're addicted in the nicest way that we could be addicted, you know, and I just look forward to being there at, between 8 and 9 in the morning and between 4 and 5 in the afternoon and spending some time with them. The staff are very sensitive to making things better, making it easier. They really believe in parental involvement. There's a sense of welcome, and that's very important. You look for what I refer to as the psychopollutants, the negatives that make you feel unwelcome. If there becomes a situation that we can address, there's an open thinking to addressing those situations, so that's progress. I feel very welcome at Head Start. I enjoy being there. My sense, and I could be wrong, they're not accustomed to men in the classroom. I think for a lot of reasons, the role of dad, especially single dads, there's probably not near the numbers in comparison to single moms in the situation. And I think a lot of the adversity associated with single-parent families, much of the burden also many times falls on the bad guy type of syndrome. So we have a lot of overcoming to do also. But I think we all can do more to make men feel more welcome in this environment. And again, I like being there. Within days, and I mean a few days, I wasn't male or female. I was just a caring, loving person. And we needed each other. The children needed me, and I needed them. So I see the male role as extremely significant to the well-being of the development and the best interests of children. I think the fact that more men are involved in programs that encourage involvement, And us men, you know, we only look strong. We're weak in many ways, and we need some help in developing that courage. And Head Start has to give us the Yellow Brick Road to follow to go get our courage.
We're education coordinators for the New Haven Board of Ed Head Start program. What an education coordinator does basically is oversees the teachers, but is also involved with parents and with social service and servicing the children and the families to the best of our ability. I've been with Head Start for 5 years now, and I just want to comment on the change in male involvement that I've seen. When I started 5 years ago, parent involvement was an issue, and it always is. We try to get parents involved as much as possible. However, when Keith became the facilitator for male involvement, we saw a huge difference and an influx of dads getting involved in the classrooms. With this, I think that the teachers were not closed off to dads coming in, but maybe they weren't just quite as open or as welcoming. They were comfortable with moms. Moms were always the ones on the scenes coming to the classroom volunteering. And when Keith made them a little more aware of this, then all of a sudden we had this great influx of dads coming in, and we still do, and we see a lot more dads involved now, and especially over the past 3 years, it's been incredible, and now it is just part of our program.
I think what I noticed especially is watching teachers greet parents in the morning. They're more apt now to make sure that they say an extra few words to a dad or find out if there's any interest the dad has about volunteering in a classroom. So Keith really taught us how to put out that welcome mat to make dads feel welcome. When planning happens with teaching staff, they're also thinking about how to plan and involve a dad or an uncle or someone special. And maybe that's the other thing. At our events now, we're not just seeing moms, we're seeing whole families or extended families. In other words, what we're seeing are dads and uncles and grandpas and significant males. And it really makes a big difference for all the children and all the families.
About 4 years ago, I got involved with, not male involvement, just involved with my daughter, my oldest daughter, in her classroom going on field trips. And I seen how the kids reacted to a father figure being there with his daughter, and I took off from there, really.
So you've been doing this for 4 years.
4 years.
And now, do you see a difference in terms of participating in the classroom?
I see a difference in the kids each year. It's a different crowd of kids each year, so it's not like the same kids that come to me. And I act how the kids want a parent to act, and that's how I do things in the classroom. My wife, she's a head teacher in the program, and she kept trying to get me to see this guy named Keith Young. And I never met him before, and she kept pushing me to go see this guy because he's starting a male involvement. So once I talked to him and seeing how he was doing, I just came in contact with him closer and got involved like that.
I have two daughters in the program and in Head Start, and basically I got involved with, I've always been involved with my kids' lives, but I wanted to get more involved. I come from a single-parent home. My father wasn't involved with my education or with my life, and I wanted to change that. I wanted to break that, and I became involved with their education. And one thing that's unique with Head Start is you can be more involved than with the other schools. You can get involved. I'm also involved in the Policy Council, which actually makes the rules for Head Start, and it's a privilege, it's an honor to actually be able to say, this is what we want for our children, this is what we need to do here, and I think that's the unique thing about Head Start. I am the only male representative. There is a couple of male that are community reps, but I'm the only representative for parent reps, so it's different. It really is. I do feel welcome. I feel welcome to be in the Policy Council.
One of the reasons I became involved with Head Start is me and my son's mother went our separate ways. Because we did this, I felt like just because we broke up, I still should be involved with my son's well-being, his education, and nurturing and upbringing and support. This led me to join the Head Start program. When I got here, I met Keith. I met these two men, and we get along pretty well. They give me insight and support on things I should and should not do as far as supporting my kid. And it's a great system. It's very nice to be here, and I've never been involved in anything like this before, and I just like it. I like it. It provides me with support by knowing there's other males going through the things I'm going through, and they give me a lot of, like I said, insight on what to do when you feel like you've come to the end of the road and you want to, like so many other fathers, well, a lot of guys out here bail out. I don't want to bail out, and that's one of the main reasons I'm here now. I come to get that little extra boost of energy to help keep me going a little longer and to help deal with my son. They direct me as far as work, as far as maintaining tolerance with situations that arise and whatnot. So when I say support, it's a great deal of support that I get from you.
I think it's very important that all Head Start programs try to have male involvement, because that, like I said, we are looking for a way to be involved. We're looking for some channel to be involved with our child's life, just a map, and with Head Start, them offering the things that they offer, it's unique. So I think it's important to try to have more male involvement in Head Start and other programs.
Necklaces is just an ID badge that we wear like in conferences and meetings when we have every Wednesday, just to verify who we are and what we're doing.
I've worked with the Head Start program for 7 years, and in that time, the last few years, we've noticed an increase of males in the classroom. I think that is due to male involvement. They have a chance to better prepare themselves in working with the children in the classroom, learning developmental practices, and just becoming familiar and comfortable with the children and the environment. The classroom has become more male-friendly. Before, it's just been mostly women-dominated in the classroom, but we're bringing in more males and positive role models that the children, as well as the staff, could use.
Having a male in the class, which has been predominantly females, it's a change. In the beginning, it took a little getting used to. We weren't used to that male presence, but what I find is very workable. We bounce off of each other, we support one another, and the children, especially our young little boys, they need that positive male image, and John creates that for us. He does activities with them, or active sports, things that I can't do myself, that I'm not really good at. I'm not a football kind of person, but John can, and I don't know, I think it's positive. It works good for us. John and I have a wonderful working relationship. Like I said, we're partners. We bounce off of one another, so everything it kind of evens out.
Working with the young kids, and especially the males, they look up to me. They notice how I dress.
Absolutely.
There's things I wear, like one day, one of the kids asked me what was I wearing. I had suspenders on. I was talking about suspenders, my tie pins, and like we said, at sports, I let them know about a lot of the sports games and how they're played, and the rules on them, and
And just your presence, just the male presence in the classroom seems to kind of calm the classroom sometimes, because little boys get hyped, they get excited. Little girls tend to listen a little quicker, a little bit. A little boys sometimes, it's not so much what you say, but it's his voice tone. He's not yelling, but I guess it's that baritone thing that I don't have, So, but it tends to catch their attention, and they listen quite well. So John and I, we get along great. I'm glad that we're teamed up. His parents are so used to seeing females in the class. So I noticed that my male parents, they do tend to conversate with John a little more. I don't know, I think it's a man thing, that man bonding thing. So we're right back to that male involvement. So I think it encourages our fathers to be a little more involved in the classroom, seeing that John is here, rather than dealing with female Miss Ford.
I love it so much.
That means he's not going anywhere.
I'm not going nowhere. So In other words, men, it's a great job to be there. And, I mean, working with women could be fun, too.
I'm Dr. Walter Gilliam. I'm from Yale Child Studies Center. I'm an instructor there, and I've been a mental health consultant to Head Start for, I guess, about 5 or 6 years now, both in the state of Connecticut as well as in the state of Kentucky, where I first started doing this kind of work. We have a consultation program at the Child Studies Center that provides mental health consultation to Head Start as well as some other kinds of programs for young children, and I coordinate that. I think fathers play an important, integral role in a family. Raising a child and educating a child is a very difficult, hard job. It's not an easy job. It's not a job of babysitting. And it's a job that needs as many partners as possible. It needs caring teachers of both genders. It needs a caring mother that wants to be involved in her child's care and education and wants to collaborate with the school, and the school that wants to collaborate with the mother. And it also takes fathers, and fathers play an important role in that. It's a job that's so important and so meaningful that I think we need as many players as possible in the child's life. We need mothers, we need fathers, we need schools. I think for very long we've sort of thought of the care and the education of children as being a job that's solely for women, and I think we're well beyond the time when we need to be changing that perspective. That this is really a job that's not for women, it's not for men, it's for everyone, and ultimately it's for the child. And it's important that everyone be involved in that, including fathers. Historically, fathers have not been as involved in children's care and children's education as what they should be. I think any kind of a program that tries to go out and recruit fathers, any kind of a program that tries to make education, especially education with young children, something that's appealing to fathers, a place where the father feels that they have a role, I think is an exceedingly important kind of a program. I think it's something that really was at the beginning vision of Head Start. Head Start, when it started in '65, was really a program about providing good, solid developmental opportunities for young children, but it was also a program about strengthening families. And families include children, and they include mothers, and they include fathers, and they include grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, uncles. I think we're moving in the absolute right direction. We need to get as many people involved in these children's lives as we can. I remember a time when I was consulting in a Head Start program in Kentucky, and I was with in a classroom, and I was watching and observing and consulting to the teacher, and this one child, a little girl, wanted to take me by the hand and lead me places, and she led me to one corner of the room and to another corner of the room, and she led me when it was time for them to go and get a lunch. They weren't being fed in the classroom. They had to actually go to a cafeteria. She led me down there and led me all around, and she was talking to me, telling me all about her day and how her day went, and telling me about home, and she looked up and she called me Daddy. And that's when it really hit me, just how much of a role fathers play and just how much of a gap it sometimes is in many of these children's lives when there is no father there to play a role. And anything that we can do to bring fathers back into the fold, to bring men back into a program like this, where we can have good male involvement, not because male involvement is more important than female involvement, but because we need all kinds of involvement. Anything that we can get that'll do that kind of a thing, I think is a move in the absolute right direction. So I couldn't be more pleased.
I believe one thing I've learned is it's not like men do not want to be involved, it's that we do not have the avenue to be involved. And that's one thing that male involvement provides, that it's an avenue for us to be involved with our kids. And, you know, for society has set it up that the mother's involved with education, the father goes to work. Well, now it's different. Fathers do want to be involved. So I would encourage fathers to just don't get in a rut. Find out what's going on with your children and be involved.
Well, I can only hope that more males become involved. Right now, I know all of us are out talking to other males, fathers, even guys that don't have kids, to come in and volunteer time to the children, because I think it starts now, not when they get older. A lot of reasons for crime and drug use and a lot of negative things is because the child didn't receive the love that they should have received from fathers or male figures for that matter. So it's very important that we step up and do this, and maybe by us stepping up and doing this, maybe others will follow.
This is Head Start. This is a start, you know. It's very hard to reach a child 12, 13 years old, but we're starting with 3, 4 years old, 2 years old, and we're building something, you know, relationships, and we're building something. So that's important. And I like it. It's Head Start. It's the beginning. This is where we start at. And this is what we do now, and it'll affect the child for the rest of their life.
I thank Head Start for allowing me to participate and create your own level of participation. That's what's nice about it. So I commend Head Start. I think the program has a great, great potential. It is certainly on the right path of development.
Shame. So when you take those tears, don't look to see I'm